Hello, everybody! If you are here, surely you've seen my LinkedIn post about a game and application, Monty Hall Paradox Simulation, and maybe you are even interested in. I hope that. So, I'm going to tell a little about it and also to show you how it works. Uh, Maybe at the beginning I will say you why I created this app. So the idea to create this application was born because I wanted to remind myself that one of the famous R libraries, Shiny. By the way, R is the programming language for statistician. So I wanted to remind myself Shiny. It is a library used to create web application by R, for example, uh, dashboards that visualize statistical analysis when user can tweak data in live, switch filter in real time, or update the visuals in live. Uh, However, while brushing up on R Shiny, I wanted to do something fun, so I thought, why not skip the usual dashboards, build a game instead of that. So, so I create the application where the main part of it is it's the game connected to this problem, Monty Hall problem. Um, and yeah, and I chosen such problem because I thought also I was wondering what game will I create? I will create. I thought it's a good idea to create the game connected with my occupation, so connected with statistics. So because of that, I thought about this famous paradox in probability calculus. What I want to say more. So surely many of you know this paradox Monty Hall problem. Many of you surely know the game Let's Make a Deal, which is strictly connected uh, to this problem, and my game in app is the simulation of a similar game to game which was in the TV series Let's Make a Deal. So surely many of you know it, but I think I can assume that not all. So for the people who aren't familiar with those things, I will say what the game is and what is the Monty Hall paradox. So, on the beginning of this game, the participant should choose one of three doors, and only in one door there was a prize, like a car, valuable prize. In two others, there were zonks. Zonks, zonk means that you lost the game. It was also the prize, but worthless prize, not valuable, like the mascot of goat in German version, or at the beginning in American version, or the cat in the back course, mascot of the cat in the bag, not a live cat. Mascot of the cat in the bag in Polish version, and it means that you lost the game. Yeah, so generally we've got one door with valuable price and two doors, two losing doors. The participant at the beginning should choose one of three doors, and then the presenter opened also one of these three doors. Yeah, but not this door which was chosen by participant, and not the door with the price. And it's very important because it's strictly connected to Monty Hall Problem, about which I will say a little later. And after the presenter opened one door, the participant should decide stay on his choice or switch the door. And then, after his decision, all doors were opened, and he was happy because he won, or he was sad because he lost. And why is it interesting in mathematical way? Interesting is it is this: what is more likely to win when you stay on your choice or when you switch the door? And because many people think, because their intuition said them such, even many famous mathematicians, of course, before they calculated it. Even famous mathematicians and other clever people know that, thought that the probability in two cases is the same, the probability of winning. Because we've got two doors, we know nothing about them, so it must be 1 by half. 1/2 probability that the participant win when he stay on his choice, and 1/2 when the participant 1/2 when he switch, and 1/2 when he stay on his choice. But it's not true. It's not true. Why? It's not true also that you have no information about the doors. The information about it appeared when the presenter opened one of three doors. Not direct information, where is the price, but some information in the term of probability. Because if we assume that the price is not in the doors chosen by participant, the doors chosen by presenter is strictly determined, because the price should be in the door not chosen by you, by participant, and not opened by presenter, because the presenter mustn't open the door with price. Saying it by another words, the, in such case the probability, not in such case, generally, the probability of the winning in the door which is opened by presenter in this moment move to the door which wasn't opened by you and wasn't chosen by you and wasn't opened by presenter. So on the beginning we've got the probabilities that there is a price for all doors 1/3, but then after the presenter opened one door, move to the door not opened by the participant, not chosen by participant, and not opened by presenter. If it's not clarified for you, you can also read about it in one of the tab of my application. There is also the mathematical proof of it. However, as I said before, the main aim of my application was to show it in empirical way, not mathematical, but empirical way. And you will have such evidence when you will use the simulator, play many times, and you can see that indeed in 33.30%, around something around it, you will win when you stay on your choice, and 66.6%, something around it, it will be percent of winning when you switch the door. and it will be, of course, if you will play enough times. Yes, it couldn't be visible for you if you will play 2 times. Yeah, but fortunately you can play many times in this app, but you also can simulate, for example, 100 games or 1000 games and see what happened with the percentages. Okay, so I said what I wanted. So we can launch the app. Okay, well, I'm launching the app. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's make a deal. We've got here the intro. Now it's in Polish, but we can change language to English. Welcome to the Monty Hall game. Choose one of three doors. One hides a car, the others hide zonks. Probability already says it's worth switching, but it's really? Check it out for yourself. We can choose zonk character. We were chosen English language. So we will choose goat because cat wasn't in American version. I don't know what was in English version, but in American version at the beginning the zonk was the goat. We can decide if we want sounds or not. Let it be with sounds. And we can also choose options about confidence intervals, because on one graph the confidence intervals are drawn. So we can choose a method to calculate confidence intervals. We can choose Walt method or Wilson method. By default it's Wilson, so let it be Wilson. I'm clicking start. And here we have the game. So I'm choosing one of three doors. Let it be second door. And the presenter asked us about the decision. We want to stay on our choice and we want to switch the door. I'm going to stay. And unfortunately I lost. But I can play again. Now I'm choosing the door number 3. But I want to switch the door number. And again I lost. Maybe now it will be the winning game. I'm going to switch and I won. Now I try to stay, but I lost. Maybe if I will stay on the door number 1, I will win. No. Maybe not. Also I lost. Now I switch and I won. Now I stay. Now I stayed and I won. Okay, and here we have the graphs with the percent of winning games. So we won 20% of the games when we stayed on our choice, we won, and 66.7% is the percent of winning games when we switched the door. Here we have confidence intervals for both. Now they are quite wide, even not quite, they are wide, because we played not many times. I'm not going to play 1000 times, so I will simulate it. And our graphs changed. The percent of winning when the players stayed is 33.8%, so very close to theoretical value 33.3%. And you can see that confidence intervals started to be more narrow, and the theoretical value 33.3% is in it. The percent of winning when we switch the door is 66.9%. Also inside the confidence interval, we've got the theoretical value 66.6%. So probably the statement staying behind Monty Hall problem is true, that it's not the probability 1/2 and 1/2 here, but something around 1/3 here and 2/3 here. Okay, here we have another tab, how to play, but I showed it seconds ago. Here's the top fairness, because maybe I'm a cheater and the probability is 1 by half, but I created program such that, for example, the beginning probability is not 1/3, but the price is more often in specific door. So I created also to tap fairness to show that probably I'm not a cheater. And here we have graph with the percent of occurrence the price in the specific door. Yeah, so we can see that after all games, all simulated and played games by us, the probability that the price was in the specific door is something around 1/3. 31.6%, 32.4%, and 35.9%. We can simulate more. And more. And we can see that values are even more close to 33.3%. So probably I'm not a cheater. And here we have the similar graphs, but here we have graph for games in this session, games which were played in this session. Here we have for all sessions, such sessions which were closed properly. I mean properly, that was properly session was closed by clicking here. Yeah. Here we have tab history and explanation. I described here the history of this paradox. About it's written here about a woman who discovered it. She wasn't a mathematician. She wasn't an academic woman. He was a journalist, but also the woman with the highest IQ in the world. Here is about my explanation about it, which I said you also in this video. And here is strictly mathematical proof of it. Yeah, so you can read the mathematical proof here. But if you don't like mathematical formulas, you can check the empirical evidence by playing here many times or simulate this game. Okay, so it's probably all what I wanted to say, what I wanted to say you in this video. Thank you very much for watching. Probably in the nearest future I will create another application more connected to advanced statistics. Thank you very much for watching once more, and goodbye.